Right, so the Vatican just came out with a mascot?
Vatican recently unveiled their new mascot Luce, inspired by Japanese animation, which means they really said,
"Don't f*** with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side!"
Wait!
And we're gonna try and make a video game about it. So I hard-coded the W, A, and D keys just as a forward, left, and right motion, and any combination of the two has the character move Luce on like a 45 degree. I just want to say that I really love this convention that we now see in platformers, where it was like the character always just looks the direction of forward, like they're not looking at the ground and looking at the clouds. Like zero ADHD is hard-coded into any of these characters. But it also means like when you hold down shift and they strafe at like speed and can move between these different transitions of the direction that they go, they very much remind me of a shark. Like this idea of they're always looking forward while they're moving and go. Okay. I'm not sure that I mentioned that animation is not my strong suit, but I realized I don't know how to animate eyelids. So maybe Lucia is looking like a shark because she's not blinking. While moving towards you at speed. If anyone knows how to code eyelids blinking, message. No, actually, no. No, this is a design choice. This is now what we're going with. We're highlighting big anime eyes. This is now a feature, not a bug. I'm really fortunate that the Vatican decided to go with a humanoid style mascot, which most mascots are. And I'm also fortunate that Unity has a very forgiving default humanoid style rig that helps with animation. So when I find these bow staff animations and I apply them to the character, it works quite well. I have no shame in buying assets from like the Unity store and using it. I believe that asset creation from start to finish is a skill unto itself. And it's really up to designers and developers to use those in interesting ways, because let's like just cover the problems that could have gone into this. They could have given me a mascot like this. That's far less humanoid, and I wouldn't have had a rig that I could do these attack animations with. And also, what I end up doing as a designer is that I kind of take things that weren't made for the platform or weren't made for specific use cases in mind and template it out in new and interesting design ways, which means I also have these kind of problems where I kind of take a model and have to give it a rig for something that isn't meant to scale beyond its constraints. Like this is a normal human hand that I had to try and make and fit its rig into a giant gauntlet. You want to talk about spaghetti code? Let's talk about spaghetti 3D modeling. So let's see how well the model takes to these attack animations and how much I have to actually edit. Other than that, cue the training montage. Look at my background. Like that's where the budget ran out. Like if anyone looks at this project and says, at what point did you run out of money? It's right there. It's there in the bottom and top corners of that backdrop. That backdrop looks like the set of a high school major production. It is held up by nothing but duct tape and dreams. Just really quickly, when I showcase stuff like this, I use two lights, and I have one in a cool kind of color, another in a much warmer color. Luce is much more pale, so being hit by any kind of cooler light makes her pop against a background lit in a warmer light. But there was this kind of happy accident that I had when I was like trying to play around with the intensities of how do I make the background warmer and the character colder and stand out in contrast. And I accidentally like bumped up the intensity. I really think that this is going to be great. And I just wanted to showcase this mistake and how I'm going to probably use it moving forward. Boom. There you go, full on, pump the lights all the way up. If you're not awake, you are now, straight flashbang. And that really puts me into that anime convention of this attack is so powerful that it washes the screen in white and the animators don't have to animate anything taking damage. There's always a moment where your character goes to the next level in terms of an instant power boost. Like God of War does this quite a lot. Avatar The Last Airbender has the Avatar state. Dragon Ball Z does this. There's always this moment where the character somehow transforms to take us through the next level, even for a short period of time, and I really wanted to play with that. I started pulling various animations and seeing how I could lay that on top of the animation itself. So here you can see really cool particle effects that are attached to her staff, really just move with her. And more importantly, also emit light. I love this idea that they cast shadow to actually give depth to the model. And not a great fan of how the particles go through the floor, but for now, in terms of use case of what I'm trying to achieve, it really hits the mark on that. I obviously can't publish my work that I do on this. This all belongs like trademarked under the Vatican. So this will probably just be a portfolio piece for me, but I really hope that they do something with Luce. I really hope that we can kind of have Dan Brown-esque action adventure storylines with this character, opposed to just slapping her image on coloring in books and trivia games. That's it for me. That's what I'll be working on for the next couple of weeks, and I hope that all of you have a Merry Christmas.